Okay, hello and welcome. And this is a quick blog, maybe 10 minutes of your time to talk about my mental health journey. Why am I talking about my mental health journey? Well, tomorrow is the second Friday in April. And 5 years ago, on the second Friday in April, I, for the second time in my life, attempted to take my life. And that's right, I said it. My name is Shafiq Villasanti, hashtag chef, and I'm a coach, an author, and a speaker. But most importantly, as I always say, and I'll always start my blogs, I'm the survivor of 2 suicide attempts. And 5 years ago, on that very Friday, I attempted to drive into a wall at 50 miles an hour to take my life. For the second time, I'd reached such lows in my life that I just wanted to check out. And it's been 5 years since that very point in my life that my life literally changed for the better. That's right. Out of that tragic circumstances of me hurtling towards the wall, wanting to check out at 20 past 9 at night, I'm now here in front of you now as a coach, a speaker, and author of this book, There's No Shame. You know where to get it from. All the drop down links below if this is going out on YouTube or Instagram or my social media handles, or just visit www.shafiqempowermentcoaching.co.uk. But yes, it marks 5 years. And I'm putting this blog out today, on this day, because it signifies quite a remarkable turning point in my life. But it also signifies a way upon which I want to help and impress on people out there that are struggling that you will get through the hard times. There are so many people coming to me day to day, year on year, who don't know which way to turn. So many people looking for that quick fix. So many people, unfortunately, not able to take responsibility for their own actions and hanging on to other people to blame. But that blame culture doesn't help you. It just disempowers you. It just takes the responsibility that you have to fix yourself away, and you focus all that energy on somebody else, where the person that's hurting is you. There is no quick fix to suffering from a mental health condition. Truly, there isn't. In 2006, I attempted for the first time to take my life with a ligature around my neck, and somehow I found the strength to wriggle free. The fear that I faced in that moment when I was wriggling to try and remove the belt from my neck, knowing that that decision I had made was the wrong decision. That decision leading up to that very point in 2016 was calm. I knew what I was going to do. Something snapped in me and I just saw it out. The whole process wasn't fearful. I was clouded, I was confused, I was muddled, I was exhausted, I was emotionally spent, I was destroyed as a professional, as a personal person. It wasn't me thinking, which is why the other person in me did what I did. But then from 2006 to 2016, it was my skeleton in my cupboard. It defined who I was. I was walking around, me, thinking I was the only one who had taken the antidepressants. I was walking around thinking I was the only one who was struggling with a mental health condition. I was the only one walking around thinking, well, because I've done it before in 2006, I have a prerequisite to do it again at any point in my life. And I blame the culture that I was working in. Of course, where you find yourself in is a real catalyst for how you feel. I don't deny that. And I don't deny in 2016, when I did what I did for the second time, that the environment I found myself working in wasn't, for a large part, responsible for my mental health. However, what I found that in 2016 was that I had to stop blaming somebody else. I had to look at myself and almost blame myself for not taking ownership of this. Almost look at myself for running away for 10 years. And that's when the magic happens. It's not fairy dust, it's not a magic wand, it doesn't happen overnight. People have come to me last week and the week before that and the week before that saying, I'm so tired, I'm so fed up. I'm fed up of trying, I'm fed up of trying. Now, I'm not going to water down their frustrations, but a lot of people say, well, if you tried everything, you wouldn't be here. It doesn't work like that. What works is if you've tried consistently, if you've put in the work, if you've put in years of work, months of work, weeks of work, hours of work, if you want to work backwards. That's when things start to happen. And if you hold a vision so true in your head that you see yourself, no matter who is throwing those curveballs at you, no matter what life throws at you. And if you want to know what life threw at me from 2016 to 2019, read that. I wouldn't want anybody to go through what we did as a family. But I was consistent in how I thought and how I saw myself. And that's what you have to understand. If you're struggling from depression, if you're suffering from anxiety, if you're struggling from PTSD, if you're struggling from, if you're grief-stricken, whatever it might be, and you know in your heart of hearts that things aren't right, then you have to open up and talk about it. And it was only in 2016 when I took charge of it. I was a mess, I was a muddle, I was sitting in a room looking out the window, looking at the world go by, whilst taking prescription drugs. But in that confusion, in that muddled state of mind, there was a sense of calmness. I wasn't getting up at 4:30 in the morning and coming home at 10 o'clock at night. I was staying still for the first time in those 13 years. And I was able to work on myself. Now, I don't wish anybody to do what I did in 2016. But what I do wish, and what I impress on you watching this here today, is to open up, to start a dialogue, to help those individuals that need help. You don't have to be a qualified scientist, doctor, nurse, physician. You don't have to be medically trained. As I said in my book and I said in my talks, my wife wasn't medically trained, but she listened. She showed interest in the conversation. And as I've said before, and I'll always say, if somebody on those 2 Friday nights, those 10 years apart, had said to me, "Are you okay, Shafiq? Do you want to go for a coffee?" then I wouldn't have did what I did. I wouldn't have done what I done. I'd have seen in that moment that I mattered. I mattered to somebody enough to ask how I was feeling. And I wouldn't have done that. And it's mad to think that you go through life with this prerequisite to what you want to become. And when curveballs come their way, and if we fail, or we stutter, or we stumble, or we don't get where we go, or where we want to go, then we say that we haven't achieved it, we failed, it will never work out for us. What we've learned is what doesn't work. That's a lesson learned, not a lesson failed. What I learned at the age of 42 was that I can start over again. I was terrified, I was fearful, I didn't know what to do. But by the way of thinking, I realised there was another avenue out there for me. And by working on myself and by letting go of that blame of the culture, of people, of the industry that I used to work in, enabled me to spend more time on myself. If I look here at this photo here of myself and my wife in our courting days, happy, smiley, beautiful couple. I can't see in that picture there, they're 20, 25-year-old photos there of the pain and struggle that I was going through. Who would have known it? If I look at that picture there now myself, which I took in 2019, 2019, 3 years after my second attempt. Look a bit older, a bit fuller in the face. But I've been on a journey, and it's a journey that I wouldn't want to change for the world. Don't ever see yourself as somebody who's failing. Don't ever see yourself as somebody who hasn't tried. As I often say, and it's quite hard to say when people say to me, "But I've tried everything." As long as you're trying, you're succeeding. It's when you give up and don't try, and then don't input at least something, and that something could quite literally be by getting up and drawing the curtains, by saying some positive words, by choosing to believe in yourself. Just because other people haven't shown belief in you doesn't matter. It doesn't define or determine or destine you to become what they say. People have put so many curveballs in my life before my new career. People have put curveballs in my life with my new career. It's okay. It's their thinking, it's their ways of thought, it's their emotion, it's their energy. It's not my energy, it's not your energy. As long as you hold true something to you so firm and with such conviction that you don't go a day without seeing yourself for that end goal, then no one will take you off your stride. If you're unhappy now, if you're upset, if you're troubled, if you're worried, if you're fearful, you're not the only one. 1 in 4 people will suffer from a mental health condition. My God, we know here and now that it's damn sight more than that with what's going on in the world. There's something like nine UK males a day in just the UK. There's something like 63 individuals a day, men and women, young and old, who take their lives through suicide. 400 a week. You know, that's 1,600 a month. And they're the ones that we know about. I was one of those individuals that sought that action. I was one of those individuals that wanted to stop the pain and the confusion. Didn't necessarily want it to end my life, but I wanted a permanent way of stopping what was going on with me in my head and almost play catch up. And by pressing pause on the world or doing what I tried to do, I felt I was going to get some stillness and some calmness into my life and then start to address what I needed to address. But in that state of confusion and muddle, I didn't realize that once you take that final step, there is no retrospective thinking. There is no time to fix it. It's final. 2 young children. Bo was 9, Bastian was 5. I'd been married 15 years. I don't know, I'd been married 10 years by then. 2006 to 2016, I'd been married 11 years. I'd been with my wife, I don't know, 18 years. That's what people are going through now. People are giving up. People are feeling helpless. People are feeling hopeless. But don't. Reach out. Have those conversations. Understand that it's okay not to be okay. Understand that for me, 5 years ago, I was at my very lowest ebb on that Friday night. Read the book. I'll hold it up again. It's the most amazing book. It is the most amazing book. It's the most relatable book to what's going on in this world now with people struggling, people trying to find the resolve to get through things, people trying to find that conviction, that belief in themselves that's been taken out of them, people trying to pick themselves up again, people trying and starting and wanting to show belief in them, and an individual wanting to bat off all that negativity that's been thrown his way. So don't give up. Don't ever give up. Okay, so if I can do it, you can do it. But most importantly, you've got to be positive. You've got to be able to believe to succeed. This is probably a more quieter, somber version of me, just because I think maybe sometimes I potentially, oh yeah, everything's all great. But no, it's good to be retrospective. It's good to think. It's good to look back. It's good to use what you've used in the past that possibly held you back in order to propel you forward. Use that emotion, use that drive, use that energy, use that conviction that maybe saw you take misguided steps to say, I know what now doesn't work for me. That 2016 attempt was the final time I ever felt like that. But I also understood it was going to take a long time to get myself better. You can't rush things like this. 2016 was a culmination of years of 40 plus years worth of questionable thinking about myself, about who the person that I was. And then that would have been reinforced by me asking other people who maybe just wanted to say what they felt I wanted to hear, if that makes sense. Anyway, I'll leave you on that. Second Friday in April, every year for me marks a turning point, somewhere where I've changed the direction of my life and I've become the person that I am. And I hope it shows to inspire and shows to motivate you out there that you can achieve anything you choose to. Okay. So please consider subscribing to Shafiq Empowerment Coaching. Please get this out on social media. Please share the hell out of this. People are struggling now. People want instant results now to get themselves better. It's not an instant fix, but what it is a mindset thing. What it is a belief, a conviction, the ability to remove yourself away from whatever's troubling you. And what it is about turning up, implementing accountability, and having dialogue with people. There's many services out there that we can all access on the computer, in our local boroughs, in our hospital, in our GPs, but most importantly, in our circle of friends. So stay positive. If you want to see more about me or know more about me, see the drop down box below, or you can visit www.shafiqempowermentcoaching.co.uk. Hashtag just call me chef. Look at all my Facebook, my Twitter, my Instagram, my YouTube feeds for more about me. Have the most amazing day, and I look forward to catching you soon. Cheers. Bye.